Would I know? You know whatever. You know what they say about how the early bird gets the worm, don't you? They also say that the early turd gets the perm. I haven't got a perm. Anyway, welcome back to Overclock Showcase. I don't actually. There's a chance this isn't the earliest I've recorded one. And I'm not talking about days. I'm talking about time. It's about 11:12 in the morning. Hardly an unholy hour to be awoken, but I have decided to do. It's still a lot earlier than I would normally record, basically. So just not used to. I've had no reason to be switched on in the way that I am for videos at this time in the day. So we'll see how this goes, and I'll explain why I've done this momentarily. But before I do that, RJ250 Compound. Of course, if you watched the end of the last episode, you'd know that this is the current episode. It's RJ250 for the PGL. Of course, you'd also know that I've been kind of fucking up the sequence, basically, of the weapons. For some reason, I went from the Bulldog to the Gen 2 secondaries for Jordan and Scout, which means that after this we're doing then Sabata, and Boomstick, then Bridge Cutter, basically, if that makes any sense. But still, I decided not to keep up my shenanigans. I decided when I realised what I'd done, I did double back. So I was almost going to do the Shard Diffractor. I don't know what was going through my head, and then I went, hold on, wait a minute, it should be the Breach Cutter because I've just done EPC, or just, in that case, actually Zukov. Sorry. I then realised my mistake again. So okay, I'm going to double back, and I'm just going to try and flip the order a little bit, just this once to get things back on track. Which meant doing the PGL, which is always exciting because I think the PGL is an interesting weapon when it comes to just sort of how the game is conceived, basically, from a balance standpoint. Because RJ250 is extremely powerful, but it's also a shit fuck overclock that really annoys me. Not in using it, I really like using it because it is very powerful and it's very fun. It is the strongest overclock in the PGL. In a very generalized sense, I can't really say you can do better, and it's the reasons why that really annoy me, because they all have to do with this little upgrade here, Incendiary Compound. Something you will see is both upgrades using this, both builds using this. Of course, the usual shtick of Overclock Showcase is to use two most different builds I can come up with, right? I couldn't escape Incendiary Compound because of what RJ250 is. RJ250, not that I have a problem with RJ250 relying on an upgrade necessarily, but it really just highlights how detrimental that upgrade is to the PGL as a whole, because basically what it means is, it's a simple thing, and if you're somebody who watches a lot of Deep Talk YouTube, you've probably seen Lazy maybe talk about this before. And I would recommend that you do. I might even link his PGL video in the description. It's such a simple equation of the thing that the PGL is always going to be the best against is killing grunts, basically. And it doesn't matter how much RJ250, even though it has the highest damage penalty of any of the PGL's overclocks. I mean, the only two that have it are, of course, RJ250 and Compact Rounds. But this is the lowest that the PGL's damage can go. But as long as you take Incendiary Compound, it's still enough to set on fire every single grunt and slasher in its radius. In this case, which is 5.5, which is massive. It's not necessarily going to kill those slashers, but it will kill all of those grunts. Or at least very likely will. Especially with heat propagation. So the slashers are probably going to die as well. Unlike with the base PGL, where, first of all, you need to keep it at its base area damage. So the default is 110. It has to be there to kill grunts, and even then it's only in half the radius. Once you get outside half the effect radius, the damage drops off and goes below 108, which is what you need to kill a basic grunt on hazard 5. And of course that's immediately taken away by Compact Rounds, and it's especially taken away by RJ250 Compound. It literally, grunts hit at the edge of an RJ250 Compound shot, it's going to take about 4 grenades if they're hit by the edge of the blast to kill them, as opposed to 1 when you use Incendiary Compound. So it's really just a no-brainer. And the damage that you gain from not using Incendiary Compound does not make up for it when it's like, oh, what about single targets and whatnot? In fact, the other build is going to especially prove that single target is not a problem. It's not even like I'm not going to kill individual enemies with this version. sometimes it will be doing that because you just have so much ammo. So it's really, I do think there's a little bit of a problem here. Honestly, for me, the only competition that RJ250 has is actually Clean Sweep, because Clean Sweep does let you get to a point where you can set guards on fire in one shot. I think you can do that with pack rounds as well. These two do have some weight. Unfortunately, compact rounds does not, especially because it reduces the radius as well. So yeah, you can maybe you can see why it's a bit of a problem, but obviously not in terms of actual damage output. So this one is built purely for taking out hordes. The other build is basically built to have a bit more utility and synergy with the main weapon. This is the opposite. We have a single target weapon and we have a horde weapon. So it's going to be used against groups of max heroes and swarmers and grunts, all the like. So we take radius in tier 1. Yeah, that free ammo is very tempting, but 1.1 effect radius. Not that number itself is huge, but going from 4.4 to 5.5 is huge, because when you think about what radius actually is, that's just half the diameter. So you're actually gaining, you're gaining 2.2 meters overall when you think about it. 5.5 meters on either side of the blast, so 11 meters in total, basically. But ammo in tier 2, because like I've explained, we don't need the area damage. It doesn't make a difference. There are probably examples where it could make a difference. The only thing I know that is you can reliably set guards on fire with 2 shots anyway, so I don't feel the need to take the extra damage to like make that easier in any way, because it would make it easier. It would mean you do apply more heat on the first shot, therefore they have a high amount of heat for longer, which means it's more forgiving. But as long as you put the 2 shots out as quickly as possible, those guards are getting set on fire. And yeah, incendiary compound. Now there is one thing I wanted to check about RJ250, because it has a secret bonus as well, which is ridiculous. It's got too much going on. But yeah, radius here. I think this overclock, you could still. I've accidentally gone to the website for the kebab shop nearby. I was meant to go to carl.gg. Using stun is actually perfectly fine. I just find sacrificing that radius for stun very punishing, especially given that the PGR has a very strong fear effect. I think if I was going to take it for any of them, it would be this one, but this is also a pure AoE one. I really want the maximum radius, you know. And then part of that is proximity trigger. So I'm going to quickly check this thing, because I've just brought up carl.gg. Okay, yeah. So something that I knew about RJ250 already is that it also has a reload speed bonus. Yeah, it's not listed. It's minus 0.6 reload time. In fact, I don't even know if it actually shows that. Oh, it does. Okay, it does. It does actually show it in stats. So you see, it's normally 2 seconds. It goes down to 1.4. But 1.4 is very quick in comparison to a flat 2 seconds. And I know why it's there. Is to help with RJ250. And this is the thing that really annoys me about RJ250. And I think it's the kind of thing that Ghost Ship are not going to fall into the trap of in the future, especially like in Rogue Core. It's making things like this, where RJ250 was made to serve itself, ignorant of what the strongest way of using the PGL is. So it's like, oh, we can afford to give it loads of ammo and a reload speed bonus, because that's just going to help you use more blast waves, right? Because obviously that's the point of RJ250, is to rocket jump. That's literally what RJ stands for. Not Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, I think they just did all these things because they thought they could get away. They thought it made sense because it's a weak overclock. But incendiary compound completely breaks that. Anyway, proximity trigger I find necessary for the pure AoE version, because it helps it. It means that you don't have to hit an enemy directly to trigger it. And it does add radius. It adds 0.5 radius. In fact, actually what it does, it adds 10% of your radius. So watch this. That's why it goes down to 4.4, basically. So it adds 10% of your radius as a bonus, so it's pretty cool. And our single target weapon. Now this was actually kind of difficult. I wanted to use the Warthog. I didn't use the Warthog. Also, I'm pretty sure I have all of the new weapon maintenance paint jobs now. Anyway, basically, we have the smart rifle in the other build. That is set in stone. That's not going to change. This wasn't a set in stone. I did need to figure out what I might use in this build. I came to the conclusion that I probably just need to use the Stubby. It's got the ammo capacity, even though we're going all in on damage, to be sort of serviceable. It's still not like massive ammo. This build is a bit more ammo hungry than what RJ250 normally is, to be honest. I've kind of pushed it to its limits in a couple ways. That's like Plasma Bursters are here, though. Plasma Bursters are here to handle really dense swarms of tankier enemies, especially like guards and stuff, and also to actually, honestly, just fear Praetorians. Not because we really need access to the weak point, because we actually don't, but just to kind of disrupt them and make them less of a threat. Because I've gone all in on damage, but also taken armor breaking just to make the thing more self-sufficient. It's not like this thing's going to be breaking armor anyway, so I'd rather my weapon I'm using to kill single targets be able to do it itself. Also have recoil dampener and improved accuracy on Refire booster, so it's just a really streamlined and efficient primary. Anyway, I'm going to jump right in because the reason why I'm recording really early is because I'm going to the cinema later. By later is what it actually means at 1:30 PM, 13:30. You can guess what I'm going to see. Actually, maybe you can't guess what I'm going to see because of when this came out. Going to see Superman because I'm a hope cell. Very excited for Superman. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I may or may not be going by myself, but I figured that's fine. It was clearly going to be a great effort to wrangle anyone to go. A lot of people are away, and that's both friends and family. One friend, who is not ever away, is actually just so apathetic towards Superman that I don't think it's even worth it. Especially because it's like, look, cinema, you spend 2 hours in a dark room not talking anyway. Of course, you often do end up doing something else after that, but you don't have to either. So I've kind of been like, it's just going to be like, I'm just going there to watch the film, come back. It's not going to be talking to anyone anyway. But I think going to the cinema by yourself is something that everyone should be able to do if there's a film they want to see, but no one else wants to see it with them. And I think the with them part is kind of awkward. If no one else wants to see it, it's just like, you don't need to bother them because it's the cinema. It's a fairly solitary experience anyway. You shouldn't have a problem going by yourself. I've still never done it. This is the first time I've done it, and I think it's going to be important because there are a lot of films that I want to see that most people don't, or at least most people that I know don't care for. So it'd be far more beneficial for me to be able to go by myself. But yeah, pretty excited about that. Just to make sure I've seen it, especially before the Weekly Planet episode on the because I'm still recording on Sunday, which means the Weekly Planet, which is a podcast, a movie podcast by Mr. Sunday Movies. It's actually going to come out tomorrow as of recording this, and I want to be able to make sure I can listen to it, like without like hesitation. Thing is, I've actually already seen some spoilers for the film, but I would say so far nothing I don't already know. But also, given I'm literally going today, I don't need to log back onto Twitter before I've seen the film. I saw one thing, like a character, but I think we knew the character was going to be in it. And I don't know why I'm not spoiling it, but what's the point of spoiling it? You know, a character that we knew was going to be in it like ages ago, so it's fine. And that's what I've seen. Also, jetty boots. We ignore jetty boots in these. Also, I feel like my posture. It's really awkward. I feel like there's so many things that we do. I think, honestly, most things that we do. So I know this is entirely self-imposed. But I think a lot of stuff that we do in life, especially stuff that isn't self-imposed, is just really does not promote good posture. School does not promote good posture. They try to. They think they do, but they don't. Because of the way that you sit. It's pretty terrible, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah, I should mention we're playing duck and cover as well, because this is an overclock that I unsurprisingly have a lot of experience with. So I need to be careful with this lot, because I want to make sure I get... Yes, this is the kind of things I'm going to be dealing with in duck and cover. That should handle them. So they will start shooting at some point. But the reason I went for duck and cover, one of the things is, obviously, I think RJ250 having quite a bit of notoriety. It's a notorious overclock. I'm sure most of you have either seen it or used it in plenty of conventional scenarios. So I want to do something that is not the most conventional, which I think is duck and cover. It's just massive swarms of very particular types of enemies, ranged enemies, kind of things that we're very happy to be able to disrupt, and also, all of them, very weak to fire. Which is perfect for us. I think the next, for the next build, I probably will play a more conventional mission. Oh shit. think that was a good one, a good moment to use a Plasma Burster, but still need to use the PGL as well. This was just very satisfying. You've got these really big groups of enemies that sort of linger in the air on the walls that are all weak to fire, and it's just perfect. Guards though, guards keep cropping up, and they are a perfect target for our Stubby. So is the occasional web splitter that's not really worth a PGL shot. You can see I can sort of fire underneath them, but still not hitting them. Anyway, I want to burn a bit puppy ammo. So. Like, single enemies are not really the domain of this PGL build, which is actually something different about the next one. I'm actually, unsurprisingly, perhaps... Oh, hold on. I'm going to sneeze, and I don't want it on recording. Anyway, unsurprisingly, this is an overclock that I have some history with. So I've only done like 3 practice missions for this. I'm recording earlier than normal, like day-wise as well, which is good. I still want to get ahead because I still do want to make that Electromites video, which is... I haven't done much more work on it, but I'm definitely getting there in terms of like what the video is going to like be like. But yeah, me and RJ250 have a lot of history. Also, do you know what? Actually, no. Actually, I'm not going to use RJ250. I'm not going to rocket jump because I want to prove the fact you don't even need it. As an engineer, you do not need what RJ250 provides if you're a good engineer. You can, I mean, obviously, quick getaways are going to be the thing we're using it for. So, this is what I really don't understand about the thought process behind it, is how Ghost Ship didn't recognise the strength of Incendiary Compound and how it would nullify the penalties of RJ250. But if they actually are secretly geniuses, they actually understood what they did. And they understand that what's so powerful about it is, obviously you take Incendiary, so you get that amazing grunt killing power, right? But what you also gain is the ability to kill loads of shit by fleeing. It's not really for transport as much as it's for making a getaway from a tight scenario and damaging everything around you in the process. That is where the rocket jump aspect is useful. Probably not going to get surrounded much in this case because, if, for example, if I were to shoot at the ground to get away from enemies, I'm probably just going to go up into them, given that they're all in the air or on the ceiling, on duck and cover. But that is still where the rocket jump has, like, holds some weight. Anyway, so an element of my day is I do need this recording to not be like the most like extensive thing in the world. I think I'm probably planning on making this the longer of the 2 missions, as in all that means is I'll just select a short mission for the next one. I don't know why this room is so bare though, especially with this course I didn't need to do, because I'm going to call in the resupply, but I'm going to, but there's like no more kite around for some reason. Anyway, there's not so much anything around, so let's just start. There's some more kite there. Anyway, so I think the core spawn, I don't think we're going to be setting them on fire in one shot. But unsurprisingly, that's the role of the grenade launcher here, is core spawn. Okay, no. It's 2 shots. So they're basically guards. Right, trying to set some more fire here. There we go. Although in this case, I don't think the fire is necessarily going to kill them outright. In fact, we just saw pretty directly that it doesn't kill them, just from like a single instance of being set on fire. Well, I think it's all going well. You're not seeing anything surprising from RJ250. Not that it's going to it doesn't, obviously, what it doesn't do, it doesn't dominate these kind of scenarios with enemies where it takes more than one shot to set them on fire, basically. But that's also kind of the point. The point is, the PGL never excels in those situations. Even if you spec purely into area damage without Incendiary Compound, the only way you're going to be killing things like that in one shot is with Fat Boy. And Fat Boy is, I'm not going to say it's bad right now, but it is unstable as hell. It is, the most unstable overclock in the game. Just by look, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying Fat Boy's bad, but it is a joke. Like, it is a joke overclock. It's not made to be. It's not made to be balanced. But, I think RJ250 is almost the same thing though, which makes hyperpropellant kind of weird because hyperpropellant is very good, but it almost comes off as a joke as well because it's so gimmicky. Which I think is kind of it is another issue I have with the PGL. I think its overclocks are either too basic or too gimmicky. You literally have 3 basic ones and 3 gimmicky ones, and the gimmicky ones are all the best ones. I mean, I like the cleans, right? I use pack rat and clean sweep on occasion. I'm actually kind of a pack rat guy in a lot of ways, but it's the gimmicky ones are the ones that hold any weight, and I don't think that has to be the case. I think we can do better. I've mentioned it before, but I remember watching a video of like a guy who created a bunch of modded overclocks. It looked really cool, and he had one for the PGL, which was called Plasma Torpedo, and basically it made it so that the projectile traveled through the air, and I think it also bounced until it found targets. So it didn't fall off. It just traveled through the air. I think it moved a lot slower, but it also did a lot more damage as well. It did enough to kill guards in one shot, and I think that was actually very apt. It was a very satisfying looking overclock that I think would compete with sort of the more gimmicky ones that we have at the moment, because it's still not exact. It's it's definitely got a gimmick, but it's also doing something quite specific, which is why I do still have what I think is a pretty rock solid solution to RJ250's overbearing nature on the PGL's upgrades, right? Or rather, what Incendiary Compound does. Basically, we need to introduce something. I am actually making a genuine balance suggestion right now in this day and age. Hey, look, we're going to get deep rock content eventually. It should be another upgrade, or probably more appropriately, it's something that should be augmented to Pressure Wave, which is the armor breaking upgrade. I think what we need is a way for the upgrades the overclocks that don't rely on Incendiary Compound to have something to back that up. And I think basically the thing that makes Incendiary Compound that basically trounces the other upgrade options is the damage fall off. Basically, I explained earlier that RPGL wouldn't kill grunts at the edge of its explosion radius. Actually, not even RPGL, base PGL, right? Incendiary Compound completely obliterates that. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any damage fall off. What I am saying is that there should be an upgrade that removes damage fall off. And that means you're actually taking full advantage of the damage that your PGL does in its entire radius. By choice, though. That should not be free. It would be very strong. So look at that. Oh, look at that. Toasty. I'm actually going to fire another one up there because I have a bunch more stuff to spawn. But yeah, I mean, it still bears mentioning how good this overclock is. So, I mean, you can see it for yourself, but still, I'm not blind. I'm not here. I was made it very clear that I'm not here to rag on this thing's power level. It is amazing. It's amazingly strong and fun, but I still have pretty major issues with it. I want to try the Path Burster. Need a bit of sentry action. Oh, my health has disappeared. Yeah, I'm a bit of a hypocrite, what can I say? I needed that red sugar, didn't I? And yeah, I am just trying to use up all my ammo at this point. Okay, that's pretty much all of it. Anyway, I think I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I might still come back to what I was talking about with the pressure wave thing, but I really need to just mine some more kite for now. There. Boom! I was literally just, like, I don't even know what I was doing just now. I was, like, playing with boss code, basically. I was just having, like, shine a light around at the ceiling to see if there's anything up there. Oh, yeah, Brundles. So Brundles obviously are, like, the guards of the Mactera. But they have the same heat threshold as other Mactera, though, which is very low. Which means, unlike guards, they get set on fire just as easily as their counterparts do. But they still have a lot more health, so they don't die from fire. Unlike Trijaws and Mactera Spawn, which normally do. Especially Mactera Spawn. Because they have even less HP than the Trijaws. But right, where's the actual way out? Over there. Okay. I've encountered my least favourite type of terrain. Vertical tunnels. Just awful, awful. Or, you know, pits, I guess. You call it a pit. Just terrible. The worst thing. Actually, I've been able to avoid these kind of formations in this game for, like, a while now. And I'm not pleased to see it again. But I think the strategy here is going to be just to have Bosco mine everything. Have it fall into the pit, for the most part. Yeah, swarmers. Swarmers! Well, that's not, like, terrible, but it's not good either. It's like, it's no surprise that RJ250 can kill swarmers in its radius. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. Well, that was pointless. Almost got me killed as well. You can't tell, I don't normally use RJ250 for the rocket jump aspect. Oh yeah, I should still mention proximity trigger. So you do still, by the way, you do still, like, if it hits an enemy directly, it will blow up. It's like, it's not the complete opposite of spiky grenade. Just an observation. Anyway, so my pressure wave idea. So if it had an upgrade that made it so it deals its full damage, like it's no damage fall off, it would just enhance literally all of the non-gimmicky overclocks, like by quite a lot. Because suddenly the base PGL can kill grunts in its entire radius, and it's pretty easy to get Pack Rat and Clean Sweep to the point where they can do that to slashers. Clean Sweep to the point where you get pretty close to even guards, or at least enough that leaves them on like a good amount of HP for your turrets. It's actually gonna be like, it's actually not that bad that they're left alive. It's such a small amount of HP. You can actually get it to that point, but not within the full radius. And then even compact rounds, even though it lowers the damage, you're still going to end up with more ammo than, I think more ammo than even Pack Rat, by taking one, like even if you take one of the, damage mods. Oh my god, look at that. Oh yeah. That'll do nicely. Well, I do have an excess of plasma bursters. So I'm going to try and do something here. Actually, that worked better than I thought. Not amazing damage, but necessarily, but anyway, especially with this awkward as fuck cave, I need to just get on with the mission a little bit. I'll see you once I'm out of here. Okay, well, I got out, so. Wait, does it actually kill them? It does. Now, obviously, those Mactera had the benefit of being so close together that they were keeping each other on fire, but I think it still can kill a single Mactera, like, from base health. Obviously, there is the small benefit of actual damage. And if they're very close to the center of the blast, they do take a little bit more actual damage. Like this guy was at the edge, for example. And he's also by himself. And he didn't die from the fire. So there you go. Although those other guys didn't either. But still, there's something to be noted there. A lot we can learn. Just noticed I've got a bit of a nitro problem actually. A bit worrying.
Spewing disgusting mush all over the place.
Okay. Alright. Pushing on. Alright, got a swarm. Just luckily I just found some nitro. Actually, I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create a kill box.
One sentry gun ready to be built. It's armed and ready. Sentry gun needs assembly. You stuck your webs into my business for the swarm. They're here.
I'm not looking yet. There they are. Oh god, it's so delicious, isn't it? It's me. Well, they just look delicious. You could just eat them, just like that. Hi. Making a resupply while I could. Okay, I think we're gonna be okay. It's all gonna be fine. So this isn't the ending room though, is it? Actually, it might be. Just, I feel like normally you'd get a bit more cut than this before the end, but oh well. I did want the mission to not be too long.
Music to my ears. Just take your sweet time, old lady. I've got all day.
There we go. What?
Smooth.
What? Yeah.
Good work. Objective completed. Escape pod can be called.
Okay, there we go. Get out of here. Let's go. I'm gonna leave. 28? Okay.
Ready to kill some more crates.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing.
Oh, there's some more right here. Oh well. Anyway, it's run and gun time, lads. So, guards. Actually, I might as well use this opportunity. There we go. So that one wasn't quite in the right place, but those other two got set on fire pretty easily. But guards are still the problem. They're not going to die from that fire. It's only going to happen if they're in a really dense swarm. If they're not, it's going to do about half their health, which is still okay. But you should never do it to a single run. Single guard. Single guard is not worth the trouble. Just Stubby. Or Warthog, whatever primary you have is definitely better suited. In fact, If you know ball, then you know that smart rifle is pretty much always going to be the best option for a guard.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4
What am I doing?
Go, go, go! Wait, you spit acid while I spit bullets! Ha! Platforms, nice. One sentry gun ready to build. I was born ready.
I'm not going to kill that menace, am I? I probably could actually. Oh shit! I can do this. I can do this. So the rocket jump is useful. Ah, okay. Do I need to go to the toilet before this mission? Not that you need to know about that, but I probably do. I probably should go. But yeah, the incandescent. That sounds like a good word. Find out. Incandescent power of RJ250. Incandescent means emitting light as a result of being heated, or full of strong emotion and passionate. Okay. I'd say RJ250 has a passion for what it does. It's probably more passionate about itself than I am. You definitely saw it. It's just gonna wipe it. You know, that is a slightly more complimentary. That is actually more complimentary than like base normal gameplay. Actually, also, what did I see there? Well, that's not bad. But I think I'm just going to do what I thought of doing before, which is one of these. Actually, maybe not. Oh, it's not only option. Actually, I'll be back. Okay, back from the toilet. With a newfound lease on life, and I think I know exactly how I want to play this next segment, which is still the still going to be the point distraction with as many enemies as possible, because I know what I want to do, because I don't think I've done this one exactly before. I'm not sure this build, and if I have, it would have been in build showcase specifically, so that's a long time ago now, but I want to challenge the status quo of what this is, because this is my go-to RJ250, which is with all the ammo and spiky grenade in tier 5, and what that means is once you get decent amount of burst direct damage from that, it's actually really good at taking out things like tri-jaws and axis bitters in one shot, but also very quickly, right? It can even kill sniper turrets, like rival sniper turrets in one shot, and it actually does really good damage to things like spitballers. More importantly, it sets all these things on fire and sets them up for big damage from our smart rifle. So I've gone for seeker rounds. Why seeker rounds? Because it's the best. That's why. So we've got damage, we've got macro lens to focus on only one enemy, which is going to help us a lot. Electrochemical rounds will gain a 20% damage bonus against on fire or electrocuted enemies, but it stacks. So we're going to have fire and electricity because we've got electric generator mod. And shutter speed sensor. Shutter speed sensor and macro lens combine basically to make it really precise and really quick at getting the amount of locks that you need on a single enemy. It's exactly what you want. And also this just sets everything on fire. Everything, like Warden's 1 shot, Praetorian's 2 shot. That's why we need 21 ammo. That's why I don't begrudge having this much ammo, because it's not something I would want to do with pack rail compact round, to be honest. Yes, our effect radius is only 4, but that's fine. Also, when it comes to things like hordes, you're always going to be making a guard like the focal point, because of what the direct damage does. It's actually very easy to set a single guard on fire with 1 shot. Not more than 1 guard, though. But basically, what I meant when I said challenging status quo is because of what more enemies does to the game. More enemies does do exactly what you think it does. It adds a lot more enemies, but it also adds a lot more, basically, veteran enemies. So it's going to be more grunts, our slashers, and guards in this than normal. Guards specifically. It's actually going to be difficult for this build. The other build might have been better for this. And so I think the most interesting way for me to show this overclock off at this point given its notoriety and it's definitely had presence on the channel before, I think I need to do something that really challenges it. I think the previous build was showing something really specific that is very complementary to it. This is going to be something really specific that is challenging to it. And I think that's the best way for me to have played this video. So let's just... Also, because of the nature of the mission, probably not going to have to pause at any point. Okay, let's just go. Now, shockers, though, are going to be the biggest problem. This is why I wasn't too thrilled about it being in dense biozone. Because you just get shitloads of shockers. Okay, so this Praetorian right here. This one. What I want to focus on. As such, there may also not be too much talking during this. Bad start.
Never felt better. Clear them out.
Okay, where do I want my turrets? Probably sort of entering the mine head. Usually how I do it. I'm gonna have to Bosco just knock down a bunch of red sugar from around the place.
Access provided.
I want to find a quark that really only Bosco is going to be able to get for me. That one. Perfect. But yeah, we're going to do the whole thing. I'm definitely going to get the Apoca Blooms, which is somewhat risky because, you know, I do have a time limit. And there's still a couple of things I want to do before I go. And the screening starts in like an hour and 10 minutes. But also, just based on when it says the screening starts and finishes, I know that it's like about half an hour of ads, so... Also, something that happens, direct hits are much more likely to fear enemies as well, so the Praetorians almost always get feared. This guy should die to the stats effects because whenever something... This is specifically with heat. Whenever something has like a fire damage bonus, it also applies that in heat. And the heat applied is the thing that helps it stay on fire for longer. Which is why you can actually use this against oppressors, even though oppressors like cool down so quickly. It still works. Because doing elemental bonus damage to them, it just basically reapplies the fire, essentially. Another. Okay, Bosco can get that one. Got a swarm, which is good. You want swarms? Oh, not that kind of swarm. Fuck. Oh yeah, and the brilliant thing about presses, well, not about presses, but about seek rounds, that I don't have to actually hit them from behind. What I do need, though, is nitro.
Reload.
Okay, I don't need to use PG on that guy. There we go. Peak rounds for the win. Right. That nitro? A little bit.
Get to work.
Okay, we actually got the ABACC, so that's good. Got shredders are actually also, shredders are actually also quite a good idea for this.
Exemplary work. You've achieved your objective in a record time. Launch the mainnet and we'll send
I mean, that's not record time for me. I've done it quicker before, but that is still fairly quick. What's that? All the nitro that he dropped. Okay. Okay, there's some more nitro. Good, good. Right, that'll do it.
I made a platform. Much better. One platform ready to use. I'll beat your record this time. Just watch. Resupply ordered.
Yeah, so in terms of challenging the status quo, obviously I was expecting lots of guards, and there's been a couple of guards, but what we've really had is just Praetorian overload, and that's worked perfectly well, because that's always been a strong point of this build for me. It's like when you find an individual Praetorian, it's such an easy thing to take care of. You just drop 2 grenades on it and then just wail on it with the smart rifle until it dies. When you have 4 or 5 Praetorians in one, it's like which one do you set on fire, because chances are you're not going to get them all. So then I just had to use the shredders to really like get through the Praetorian hordes, literal Praetorian hordes of any kind of efficiency.
This one's for Carl.
Oh, look at those ABACC blooms. Okay, so I can actually see all the ABACC blooms I'm going to need, but they're in really awkward locations.
Getting more ammo. Feeling much better now.
Especially that one. The floater.
Locked and loaded. Reloading.
Yeah, I might be able to... probably not.
Platform in place.
It's going to be a bit cumbersome. Bear with me here.
Platform.
Might not have even needed to get that one specifically. It felt like aura farming, I guess. Oh, hi. Yeah. Good chance you're going to take the hit. Usually what you want is to be able to basically to aggroing the spitballer with the grenade launcher shot is ideal. It actually does usually give you enough time to kill it before it attacks. Also, it's actually loads of nitro here, but I don't think we're going to need more than 1 resupply total, so I'm going to just move swiftly on.
incoming.
I don't know why I thought there'd be ABACC blooms up here.
Platform.
This is more what I was expecting, actually. Okay. One more. Okay, there's one. Oh, one shot. Let's make it. Let's go.
Nicely done, team. You secured yourself a nice bonus.
Bad.
Minehead returning. Escape can inbound. Expect no assistance until we can pick you up.
Right. But I literally don't have any grenades. I didn't die in the last mission. I'm not dying in this mission. That's not going to do anything. Seek around, go straight through the shell back. Brilliant. Seek around's gang.
Your ride home is on the way. Drop pod inbound.
Actually, I don't know how this direct damage works. I don't know why I've never tested it like that. But it's fairly obvious. Because I know that it's like direct damage, but I guess it still does it to the oppressor from any angle. Okay.
Pod arrives, waiting for takeoff.
Oh, so there's a bulk detonator there.
T-minus 3 minutes.
We're killing that thing. Don't worry. Now I probably will die actually at some point during this, but I'm killing that bulk detonator.
Ready to kill some more crates.
Okay, actually might not die. If I do, it'll be the damn stalker.
Weapon ready. Friggin' stalker, get my shield. No man ready. Yeah. Just relax.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 2 minutes.
Fuck. Do it. No deaths.
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Oof. Okay. Did it. Expertly handled, might I say. Oh god. Anyway, that was RJ250 Compound. Obviously, yeah, I think I went pretty in depth on all the actual problems I have with it, but it is extremely powerful and fun overclock. So I can give it a high recommend as long as you're willing, as long as you know, you acknowledge, gotta use Incendiary Compound. You're gonna have a good time. Definitely ways to pair it. You can make it a pretty standalone weapon, or you can make it pair up very nicely with the smart rifle. You do you, buddy, but it is a very strong overclock. and to say otherwise would be blasphemous. But it does still highlight some of the PGL's biggest issues. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode of Overclock Showcase, please make sure to like and subscribe. And you want to see more stuff like this, and you want to stay on top of everything, do Deep Rock and Roll Call, and also make sure to click the bell. And as always, thank you to our member, Boxful Scoot. And now, time to find out what next week's going to be. It is the Burt. So yeah, there's a chance we get Electrominders. So if you don't know how this works, I number the overclocks on the weapon from left to right, top to bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've done full chamber seal, so that knocks out number 3. Which means I think it's going to be on Carl when I go on here. Oh no, it's a definitive incandescent. Anyway, so here's the Wheel of Fortune. Some lovely biscuits in the background. And it will tell us what we're going to use. So number 7, by the way, would be... Okay, so it's not going to be 7, it's going to be 1. Oh no. Oh no, wait, hold on. No, that's fine. I know what to do with this. Number 1. Lead spray. Who am I going to preliminarily equip this to? Fuck it, this guy. Why not? I feel like I've used lead spray on this build before. Anyway, yeah. Next week, lead spray. Look forward to that. And now it's time to choose an appropriately RJ250 themed drink. I know exactly what it's going to be. That's an obvious one. It's extremely obvious. But I'm going to do it the proper way. We're going to start with a wormhole special. But that's not the actual drink, of course.
Special, please. Flintlock's delight, please. Skull.
You boys better be better miners than you are dancers.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm never gonna get used to this. Cheers, Mike.
So we're not going to be out here long, but should still be able to go pretty far. Good enough for me. Oh, I'm never going to get in. I'm not going to be able to get into the hoop, am I? Usually what I try and do when I get drunk, try and launch myself into the barrel hoop. Just because the effects of Flintlock always last longer than you think. Oh well. Yeah.